Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World with me, John Jordan. So, Off the Grid has gone live on OpenSea. So that's interesting because Off the Grid has been at this point a sort of a closed ecosystem. So people have been playing the game through console and PC, but it's all been running on a test net. It's not been very clear how many people are playing. We still don't actually really know how many people are playing. But sort of slowly over time, they're opening up these sort of different features. So as far as we understand, this is not everyone who's been playing Off the Grid now being able to sell their stuff on OpenSea. It seemed to be, from what they were tweeting, the first first wave. So it seemed to be an odd number, 609 wallets. They seem to be suggesting they're OGs. So they've had this sort of 609 number, have been the first sort of set to be able to sell their NFTs on OpenSea, rather than just within the games marketplace. And there's like 21,000 players who have been able to move from the test net to the main net. And we still don't know, from what I've been looking at in terms of on-chain activity, it's still the vast majority of players are still on the test net, not the main net. So when the majority of players go live, we'd expect, potentially millions of wallets. So there's been 18 million testnet wallets created. I don't think they're all going to be playing Off the Grid and all going to be coming over, but we wouldn't be surprised to maybe expect over a million wallets to come onto the main net. As far as I've not been playing this, but as far as I have seen, if you have a NFT in the game, you have to sort of mint it, or you have to pay a fee to get it onto OpenSea. So there's obviously some infrastructure stuff going on here. So I'm not quite sure. Someone was complaining that was the case. I'm not quite sure if that's the case for everything, because there seems to be a lot of low-level items on OpenSea, and I can't think that would be the case if you were paying these big fees. So I'm not quite sure about that. But anyway, we can see what we can see. So Off the Grid, the NFTs are running on this OpenSea blockchain. So it's a L1 using Avalanche, so basically an Avalanche blockchain integration. So we can see here, a lot of items. So I like this little thing here. It all moves up. You just saw the number change there. So almost 7 million NFTs. So I imagine that's just looking at must be the testnet at the moment, but whatever. We can almost see NFTs being created. It's a game where you play the game and you unlock these hexes, and you sort of extract the hexes, and then you can spend money to open the hexes, and that's where the NFTs come from. So that number's just going to keep going up. It's going to be a game that's not really capping NFTs. Obviously, most of them are not going to be worth anything. So that's what's going on there. We can see here, obviously, the usual things. The floor price, so 20 gun. So a gun is their token. Price is about 3 or 4 cents at the moment. So that's there you go, 63 cents US cents. So very very low level. Total volume. So it's only been live a few days. Total volume is 3 million. Obviously this is going up every day because people are trading stuff. But this is pretty small. It's about $100,000 so far. So $100,000 of trading on this game. I say only really for less than a week. Majority of stuff's not listed, obviously, and it's giving us here 59,000 owners. So we were sort of saying there was this all these different numbers being thrown around. So this is higher than the 21,000 number. So yeah, it looks like there's more than 21,000 people, owners. Obviously, you can have unique owners. That doesn't mean they're trying to sell their stuff. So you have to sort of be a bit careful how these numbers sort of interact. Anyway, so we can sort of see I'm looking at this priced low to high. So this is the cheapest stuff. I'm not really sure if people are going to be buying and selling these things. A pink beard. Maybe someone might go for it. We can see actually some of these have been bought and sold. So it was maybe people just messing around and like buying the cheapest thing and trying to resell it. Because the lowest price is 20, I wonder if that's a hard limit. Sometimes you can't sell any lower in these sort of game ecosystems. So I don't know if that's the case, that they just can't, because there's some may just be people who've chosen 20 gun, or maybe that you can't sell lower than 20 gun. So this one here, someone bought it for 20 gun, is now trying to sell it for 24. So these are all skins, obviously, in the game. So no gameplay advantage with these ones, as far as I understand it. These are you know, the usual things we would get: skins, emotes, gun skins. Obviously, some of these might be a bit more interesting for people to wear. Now, some of these and some of these arms and these NFT arms can have in-game abilities, because they're not just skins. I think well, maybe they're skins, I don't know. But the arms have functionality, so I don't quite know how much of the sort of functionality is being played on into those. I imagine the majority of stuff is just skins. But we can obviously look to see if we go high to low. We can see what people think are valuable. Obviously, people are not going to be selling these for millions of dollars, but we can imagine an April Fool mask or a hat. You know, there's going to be more valuable, clearly. You know, a crackhead Santa Claus set might be fun. A ninja set, that was when they first went live. So different sort of, you know, named sort of individuals. That one's quite cool. Banana Republic. But obviously, we're looking here from high to low, so people are just trying to, you know, you'll probably find these at cheaper levels. So here's a sort of a Donald Trump set. Here's the PC gamer set. That was a recent video. It's quite fun. There's a Kamala sets. They did that before the election. So, you know, some of these are going to be more obviously interesting to play in game, rather, you know, pioneer trainers who's going to care, but wearing a big Donald Trump mask. Okay, so that's the usual stuff. What else do we want to look at? We look at highest last sales. So this is actually sales. Obviously, we can still get wash trading, so people just trading stuff amongst themselves for various other reasons. But, you know, we have to be a little bit careful. I don't know why people would be buying these Tacoma Pioneer skins, but obviously the April Fool mask, you can imagine people would like to run around in game with that, and the Yankee hats, and that's $10,000 sort of thing we're getting on. So that's maybe within the realms that someone might want to spend $10,000 on these things. It seems less certain why people would want to buy these in game, but they may just think there's not very many of them. So the Pioneer stuff's obviously the super early people playing the game, so they might think there's going to be some residual value in having these things, and then we get down to sort of the lower levels here. So this is about $100, I think, these ones. So again, you can imagine there's people who just trade CS:GO skins and such like. Some people might be doing these just because they want to get them in game. People might be obviously doing them because they think, oh, these are going to go up in value. They're the Pioneer shorts are the first shorts in the game. I'm not sure they are, but people might be doing that sort of stuff for that reason. Obviously, I say the sort of stuff like the hats and stuff, I think probably not investment advice. I'm not buying them, but you could imagine those things having some sort of inherent value. So so there is stuff going on. I say about $100,000 worth of sales so far. We can also look at sort of what's just been. So stuff is 8 seconds ago. There's 3 gun. Okay, so so there's no limit. There's no 20 gun limit here. This is minting stuff. People are minting. So it seems to be showing that as well. So we can get rid of the mint stuff. So we can look at sales. So 30 minutes ago, someone spent $100 buying a Pioneer Eye. April Fool mask, actually, what that went for, $2,000. So, you know, someone our pink beard, someone like that. Some people seem to like trading pink beards. So yeah, and then Ninja set. Yeah, I mean that's pretty cheap. $32. That seems, if you were into this game and good at it, buying a Ninja set for $32 seems like that might be a thing. So anyway, the only other thing, I think that's about it, really, isn't it? Just sort of keep an eye on what's going on here, and see really we're looking to see what happens when people start coming off the test net, going onto the main net, and I guess with all these NFTs is people already playing the game might want to buy these things, or more likely might want to be sort of selling these things. Who's buying these things? Do we get to the situation where people are buying these things who never played the game? Because that's always sort of an interesting thing for blockchain games, that when you start to get people who are never going to touch the game, not going to be very good at the game, but treating it more as an investment rather than a sort of a utility. And obviously there's a bit of both. Here's the gun token. So it's actually not doing. Let's have a look. How are we doing? So it's been as high as 4 cents. It's not. we can't really see any change in the price of the gun token, because now there's this functionality. I mean, that doesn't really happen with blockchain stuff, but now with OpenSea as well, obviously we can buy gun token within OpenSea, because OpenSea is now becoming a crypto everything sort of a marketplace. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you again soon.